Hey guys, it is Coronagate day 38, which is a little bit hard to believe that it's been 38 days since this all began, but it is day 38, and my phone I've got it on a stand and it keeps dropping, which is always seem to have trouble when we are doing live things, but it's great to be going live because it means that we can kind of connect with you guys in real time and it can be a lot more interactive. I've got my first two viewers. So, hey guys, just want to give you a couple of announcements and then I'm going to crack on. Just a reminder that on Friday, guys, we've got Eden 2.0 and that's at church o'clock, which is 7:30. Hey Lorraine, how you doing? Was that Roy as well? Hey Roy. We've got, hey Melissa, how you doing? We've got church o'clock on Friday. And that's Eden 2.0, and that's at church o'clock, and that's a live kind of interactive Bible study. I think Jamie Haxby's going to be doing that. Also on Sunday morning at 10:30, we've got our live service. Hey Roy Borner, Jesus is alive because he lives. I live also. We'll get to that in a second, buddy. But yeah, good point. And just a reminder as well, on Monday night, we're doing a live interview. I've got a guy called David Hyam, and Dave Hyam, he's the founder and the leader of a ministry called The Well. They basically help people with addictions. I think they're the biggest recovery community in Lancashire, so it would be definitely worthwhile tuning into that. So, hey, everybody who is joining us. Here's what I was thinking about. I was looking at Luke chapter 24 recently, and within Luke chapter 24, you've basically got two disciples and they're on a road called the road to Emmaus. And the road to Emmaus is a few miles away from Jerusalem. Now, Jesus had told these guys to stay in Jerusalem. This is happening like about a week after Easter, okay? They're supposed to stay in Jerusalem. They're supposed to be, Dave is a great guy. He's helped so many. He is a great guy, isn't he? I can't wait to interview him. He's a Scouser, and it's going to be absolutely brilliant. Yo, Jamie Haxby. So it's a week after Easter, right? Easter, according to the Christian tradition, is a 50-day celebration. It's a party that's supposed to go from Easter Sunday to Pentecost, okay? Which might seem a little bit weird, okay? But actually what the early church was supposed to remind us is that Easter should not just be over in a day. So anyway, I'm reading Luke chapter 24. You've got this guy called Cleopas, and he's with somebody else who's unnamed. It might be his wife, it might be his friend. And rather than staying in Jerusalem, they're walking away from Jerusalem. And then Jesus appears to them, but he's unrecognizable to them. Now, that might sound surprising, but in the four Gospels, there are 7 resurrection appearances of Jesus, and every time it seems like it's a little bit dreamlike and a little bit shadowy. Sometimes he's confused with the gardener. Here he's walking alongside Cleopas and Cleopas' friend, and they don't recognize him. And they're basically speaking amongst themselves and like in hushed whispers. And this guy's like, what are you guys talking about? And I'm kind of paraphrasing now. And they said, look, man, are you tripping? Do you not know what's been happening in Jerusalem? We were following this teacher who we thought was the one, the Messiah, the great serpent crusher of Genesis, the son of David, the one who was going to liberate us from the Romans, the one who was going to usher in the kingdom of God. Israel would become the chief of all the nations. And it was rubbish. It was just unbelievable. And they're like, what's made it worse is that some people have said that he's risen from the dead, but it's women, man. And who in that age, this isn't a sexist comment, but who's going to believe these women? They're hysterical, they're unreliable witnesses. Please don't be hating. That's just the cultural context of that day. So Jesus begins to tell their story back to them, but what he does is, rather than beginning with Jesus' public ministry, he goes right from Genesis all the way through the Psalms and the Proverbs and the prophets and says, look, the scriptures are clear. He was supposed to come. He was supposed to suffer. He was supposed to die. They still don't recognize that this is Jesus at this point, okay? Which is, again, it's a bit crazy. So Jesus goes as if he is going to move on and continue on the journey. And these guys are like, look, you need to come round for dinner. So they invite him round for dinner. And what happens is, although they are the hosts and he is the guest, Jesus decides to take the place of the host. And he takes the bread that they have made or their family have made, he takes the bread and he breaks it. And as he's breaking the bread and as he's teaching on the scriptures, like something comes alive in them which they haven't felt for a long time. It's that feeling of hope. And then it says that kind of Jesus disappeared. And as I was kind of like reading this passage and I was thinking about it, I was just thinking about the fact that, yes, there is loads of evidence that Jesus rose from the dead, you know, and a lot of that evidence is contained within the New Testament. A lot of it's contained even outside of the New Testament. But where the crucifixion comes to us in 3D, when it comes to the resurrection, the disciples, there was like a little bit of a vagueness to it, a little bit of kind of uncertainty about it. And it was only when Christ revealed himself to them in person through his presence, or through the breaking of bread, or through the scriptures, was their faith in the resurrection experienced. And only then did it really take root. And my encouragement would be for you guys who've got friends and family members who maybe struggle coming to terms with the resurrection. They're like, Jesus is a great guy. He's a great religious figure like Gandhi or you know, like Martin Luther King or whatever, but he's just a guy, and they have a problem coming to terms with the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead. You know, I'd encourage you to be praying for them, but I'd also encourage you to be challenging them to be opening up their lives to the possibility that Jesus Christ has risen from the dead. I knew a girl, and if you're part of our church, you've probably heard me share this story. She was a Sikh, not interested in Jesus, and she began to fast and pray that her God or gods, they believe in the gurus, would reveal themselves to her. And as she was fasting and praying that the gurus would reveal themselves to her, she had this kind of like vision type dream, and she basically encountered Jesus, and she was born again and she was saved. So my encouragement is, guys, for you, or if you're not a believer or a follower of Jesus, or if you've got friends and family members that aren't, just to encourage them to be seeking after him and asking him to reveal himself to them. And I promise you he will. He did it to me. He's done it to countless others. So that's it, guys. I'm going to go. I'm just going to scroll through these comments. Andrew James is watching. Jason Hetrick is watching. Roy Bourne, a great point about the communion and seeing Jesus. Only 7. I thought there was 9 appearances of Jesus. Maybe I included Saul's conversion later. It's possible there's 9. I don't know. I'm just going off the information that is in the back of my memory for when I preached on this. But yeah, there's only a handful of appearances of Jesus within the 4 Gospels, but they're all a little bit vague and all a little bit uncertain. But something clearly changes. It changes so much that all of the apostles die for their faith, except for the Apostle John, and he is sent to exile on the island of Patmos. So have an awesome day, guys. Love you guys, praying for you guys, and just be seeking high after Jesus. And make sure you're tuning in to Eden 2.0 on Friday night. So God bless you guys. Bye.